All right, so let's keep going on this thing here. Um, I'm going to try to do this really fast. Again, this is a very minor thing here, so we don't need to get it perfect with this actual thing because again, it's just such a minor thing. So let's just go ahead and blast through this so that we can work on other stuff. All right, so just gonna keep going here. So this needs to sort of wrap around the rail, and I think this might be a little high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of sub-object mode. Then I'm going to select all three of these and just lower them down. Something like that. Okay. So let's go back here to edge. And let's go pull this down here. Then extrude. Oh, did that not work? No, it didn't. And then extrude. Let's deselect this. Extrude down this way. And then back up, trying to follow the angle of the rail itself. Looks like we may need to bring this back this way and maybe up. Okay, so I want it to be sort of touching, but we don't want it to interpenetrate, so something like that. And I'm going to isolate this object and bring this so it more or less lines up with that angle right there. Okay, and then what I can do is select these two here, that one and that one, and bridge. Now this might be too far, so let's end our isolate. And maybe, actually, you know what? I don't think it is too far. What we can do is just bring this up a little bit. So something like that. And then while we're here, we can select this and just shift drag that down till it contacts that surface there, and then just extrude that back. And I think I went too far. Let's go back up. Something like that. Just extrude this back. And I think this needs to be a little bit wider. So let's just drag this so that it sort of lines up with the edge of that. Okay, so we may have to add in some geometry in here, and I think I need one across here anyway, so let's go ahead and what I'm going to do is cut from here like this. So what that'll do is if I go to, where's my, there's Swift Loop, I can Swift Loop, then it's going to stop, and then I can Swift Loop here, then get my cut tool and cut here to here and here to here. Okay, then I can target weld here to here. Okay, that's going to give me a little bit more resolution here to maybe add to that curve a little bit. Something I won't like that. So we need a little something going through here. So again, if I do a cut from here to here, now the reason I do this is because if I Swift loop it, you'll see that it runs all the way through there, and I don't want to do that. So by putting an N-gon in the path of the Swift loop, it makes the Swift loop have to stop. So I'll cut to there, And then I'll just get my cut tool and connect that. And then of course, because we don't want that end-gon, this is an end-gon right here, I'm going to target weld there to there. Now that may not be the prettiest geometry, and in fact, here, let me undo that. Let's go ahead and we're gonna cut to here, pull this down here. Now we have two triangles here, so easy fix is just to get rid of this edge there, and then just swift loop here and do a cut to connect these. And then get to vertex mode, just straighten it out a little bit. And maybe this one here. Okay, now obviously end-gon here. And before I deal with that end-gon, let's deal with, let me isolate this selection here so we can see better. So if I cut down here to here and then swift loop it, so I like to use swift loop so I'm not having to make a million manual cuts. So I'll just do a manual cut to get it going, and then I'll do a swift loop where possible. So that goes in. Now we got an end-gon right here. So, and then we also have a triangle here. So what we can do, let's experiment here. If I weld this to this, that now becomes a quad. Now, is it the prettiest quad ever? No. But again, given that this piece is not anything special, I think we'll be fine. Now, obviously, I need to adjust the curve here, so we have a nicer curvature. Okay, so end isolate. Oh, wrong one. And isolate. There we go. All right. So, actually, you know what? Let's go back to isolate mode. And so we need to connect all this back into here. Now, let me see. So we're going to need obviously something here at the bottom. And, there's all kinds of stuff happening here. So let's see, where's that image? All the stuff underneath. I honestly don't care. I don't care about anything going on underneath here. I just need to have something. So I guess what we can do is if we go to edge mode and double click here, smooth this back a little bit. I'm just going to extrude all the way down. Okay. And then, so this is just a tip on modeling stuff. If you have to simplify stuff that is unimportant, go ahead and do that, rather than going out of your way to try to make something as perfect as possible when it's such a minor thing and will never be seen up close. And even if it is seen up close, most people are not going to know the difference. Then, don't waste the time. Use your time where it's important to do it, so that you're not just throwing away time, because everything we do in 3D takes a long time. So, I'm not worried about getting this 100% perfect. Some guys, do worry about that. In this case, for me, not a big deal. So I'm just gonna make it work how it's gonna work, and that should be good for me. So then I'm gonna extrude this down here, turn on my snaps just so that it extrudes to the same level. You know, it might look a little goofy, but I don't care. I just need to get it done so I can then move on to the next thing. So that's kind of my thinking with stuff like this, is just get it done the best you can, as fast as you can, so that you're not wasting time. And I fall in that trap sometimes, and I have to just remind myself what is important. And let me see, do I care about this triangle right here? I'm going to select all three of these, and what am I doing here? If I go to border and do a cap. Okay, I'm going to leave that there for right now. See if it causes me problems later, I'll get rid of it. But for right now, we'll leave it. I'm going to cut across here, and I'm going to go back to edge mode. Select bridge these across and these. Okay, so that's kind of crappy geometry. You know what? Maybe what I'll do is here. I don't like this connection right here. It just doesn't look good. So I'm going to, and this is bugging me here. Let me just do that. I'm going to, let's get rid of these polygons here and these, because that's just not going to smooth out very well. So let's get rid of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edge mode, and I'm going to select these and extrude these out to this level here, and then extrude them up there. Or actually, instead of extruding, what I could do is just try to bridge. I get them all, and this one. So let's bridge that. I don't even know if that's going to work with my rail, but it doesn't matter. And bridge that, and let's see what that looks like, and isolate. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine, but this is going to smooth out a little bit better. Okay, see what that looks like with our symmetry on. Yeah, it'll work. Okay, so now we need the other side, which is very simple. It's just this shape right here, and then it's got this knob here. So again, I'm just going to go into edge mode, and oh, it went all the way around. Of course it did. Wrong button. Here we go. And I deselected some stuff over here, I think. Did I? Oh, you know what? Maybe I missed one over there. Okay, so that's all that's selected, right? Yep. All right, so let's go back this way. And let me look at it again. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter. So I'm going to come down here. And I think there was a bit of an angle. Something like that. I don't know. I'm pretty much making this up as I go just for speed. And then let's go ahead and let's get this. And should I select? Yep, had that guy selected. So let's come down to here. I'm going to weld these two. See what this looks like with symmetry. Oh, you know what? I think I got the angle of it wrong. Here we go. So sometimes you got to look at it multiple times there. So no, this was okay here. So I'm gonna put this back to there. Come on. There we go. And then maybe, actually, if I double click this whole thing and extrude it down a little bit more, and then take this and just put that edge on it, and maybe move this up a little bit. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll just seal this up. So what I'm going to do is see if I can just get away with double clicking this and then deselecting this and bridge. Yeah, that bridge it's not the nicest, but who cares. Swift loop just to connect this, and then vertex, select those 2 points and weld them. And now, oh yeah, obviously I need the claw that goes around the rail on this side. So I almost have to shorten this. I think, yeah, let's pull this back and raise this. And then what I'm going to do, I guess, get my polygons. Let's just delete these for now. And then go into edge mode. Select these. Extrude them back. And then down. That's really low, isn't it? So again, vertex, and let's raise this up. So I'm just going to extrude this all the way around here. Back in edge mode, I'm going to go back here and extrude down like this, and let's isolate this, and then I'm just gonna deselect all this, and let's see if the bridge will work. Yes, and we can put a little bit of an angle here. Okay, I think. Yeah, whatever. You know, no, I'm gonna undo that. Let's just make life easier and have that weird angle. So to match up this edge loop, I need to swift loop right about here. And then let's do some bridging. there to there. Let's see what that looks like if I bridge it. Not great, but maybe I should move it. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, something like that. That might be fine. And then if I swift loop across here, nope, get out of swift loop. Let's see if I bridge this and maybe move this over. There we go. That's starting to look a little bit better. And then maybe not so far. And then bridge this. Okay, so not the prettiest thing in the world, but I think it'll work. See what that looks like with symmetry. So it's clamping onto the rails there. Looks nothing like the actual design of the thing, but that is okay. Let's go ahead. So let's drop this down again. Let's give it a little bit of thickness. So yes, I do go back and forth. I'll do something and then 5 minutes later I will I'll redo it. So what are you going to do? And so let's go ahead and just whatever, something like that. All right, let me end my isolate here. And again, let's look at that with symmetry on. Okay, so very simple component there. Does not need to be super duper accurate. I mean, if you're, if you're really a stickler about this type of stuff, that's fine too. Do it up. For me, I just don't have the time to spend on getting it perfect, so I'm going to just get it to something acceptable for me. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of curve on here, maybe drop down my chamfer a little bit. And so obviously I have an n-gon here, so if I swift loop here and then cut from here to here, this is now an n-gon. So if I swift loop here and then cut here to here, okay, that's a quad now. And now right now the way it is, it's not going to smooth very well. So if I put a turbo smooth, let me put it above my symmetry, that's actually not too bad. But obviously we need to harden some edges here and then put our knob on there. So let's isolate. And start selecting edges for our chamfers. So those ones, just control and double click to get entire edge loops. And these two, so there's probably going to be some cleanups to do after we do our chamfers. It's too expected with an irregular object such as this one. And oh, wrong one. So this is usually the most tedious part of setting up chamfers, is getting everything that needs to be selected. So do I want to go? Yeah, why not? So, and here, and then all the way through there, maybe this one as well. And autosave just happened. So with the autosaves, when a file is still very light, you can have pretty frequent autosaves, but when your files start to get heavier, autosaves take longer. So you might want to increase the amount of the interval between autosaves, so that you're not having to stop every 5 minutes and wait for it to save. So on there. Actually, no, I don't want that one. Okay. Did I get them all? Nope. And usually I'll run this all the way around. And I probably need to cut in some geometry in here because that's just one long span of polygons. But we'll do that in a minute. Now, inevitably, I have missed some. So let me look around here and hope for the best. Well, let's run it, and if there's anything that we forgot, wow, that's terrible. So I'm going to do 2, but I need to obviously, actually I might do 1, because again, if we look at some of these, and I really don't want to have to go in and clean up all this stuff, so I'm going to go down to 1. Call me lazy, but I really don't want to have to go in and clean up. Whoa, okay, went too far there. So maybe something like that. Let's see. You know what, I missed this. And again, I can just add in stuff that I forgot. And this, while the chamfer is active, and it'll just chamfer those new edges. All right, let's see. Okay, so that hardened that shape up pretty nice. So, like I said, you see how we're getting artifacting here? That's because this is a very long span here without any support. So we need to cut in some support edges. So I'm just going to swift loop one down here, one up there, maybe something in the middle. And now we're not getting that artifacting. All right, let's end the isolation. Okay, so I think that's looking pretty good. Oh, for some reason this is too long here. So I can either, so let me isoline this. I can either, let me think here. You know what? Let's do it this way. So I'm going to leave that as is. I'm gonna adjust this guy because it's very easy to just, that's actually already selected. So I'm just going to take this and slide this over so that we are, you know, this one pokes out just a little bit. So let's go in our side view and let's isolate that object and select this one. Let's end our isolation and just pop it over just a bit. There we go. Okay, so take the easy route. Okay, and then obviously our screw here. In fact, both of these could probably be moved over just a hair. There. Okay. And let's isolate this guy again. I think we need some support over here, so again, just swift loop it there. Maybe one here too. Up there. Same here. There and there. So let's see, unsmoothed with symmetry on. We are talking about, here, let me get out of vertex mode here. Go to symmetry. We're talking about 1300 polygons. And even with it unsmooth, this is it unsmoothed, it's probably fine. So with it smooth, it's going to be up to 10,000, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we will just leave it as is. Or is this here? Let me collapse to, hit yes. Okay, so yeah, no, that was correct. Undo that. See, do we want to select the element and again clear all the shady, the smoothing groups, and just apply one. Let's see what that looks like. That's fine. A little bit artifacting, but nothing major. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that. Turn on my smooth, and that's what I get. Okay. Now we need to fill this hole here with that cylinder that we used. Now I have to find it. It's probably just called cylinder. It's probably this guy. Yep, there he is. So let's get this. I'm going to turn the smooth off of this just so I can snap to it. Turn on my wireframe. Shortcut is F4. And I'm just going to snap it in line with this. Move it down. Obviously it's too big, so I'm going to just move it down into position and then scale it down like that. Okay, and then isolate it, and I'm just going to convert it to editable poly, and let's go into edge mode. Double click, chamfer, 2 segments, and let's just, I want this pretty tight. Okay, my file is kind of slow. So something like that. And then of course I like to get rid of, there's all these triangles here, I like to just quad them out. So I'm just going to select every other edge here and then just backspace. So these will be quads, not the nicest quads in the world, but it'll save us on polygons. If anything, it just reduces the number of polygons there, so that should be good enough. Let's put a Turbosmooth on here just to see. I mean, I would imagine that that's going to be good enough. Let's turn this one on, and there we go. So that hole is now plugged, and of course my pivot point moved. So we got that plug in the hole there. And now what you'll actually notice if you look at some of these things, there's actually, let's isolate this again. You should be able to see the rails through here, I guess. So what we can do is just let's go to polygon, and maybe now let's go delete those, and then just go ahead and select edge mode. You know what, let's go ahead and just do it manually real quick. And just follow them down on the back side as well. And if we bridge, that was terrible. Okay, let's do these two. And do I not have matching? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, that's why. So just to not have to worry about it too much, I'm going to just start. Let's weld. Okay, these two. This one. So I'm going to have this triangle here. I don't really care too much about that, so that's 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. Let's bridge that. Select these two, bridge. So it looks like we're going to have the same issue up here, so just do a quick weld. And we'll have that triangle there. Don't care. Here to here, and then this to this. And we can bridge that. Okay, so immediately we're going to need support edges. So I'm going to get my Swift loop and put one there. Put one there. And then we need to do our chamfers. So let's double click this, this one. I'm going to go around that way. And go around this way. And I hope I still have my chamfers from previously. I think I do, yep. So nice thing about Max is that it will save the last chamfer settings. Alright, so we got a big hole in there now. Let's end the isolation. So I think that'll work better. Yep. So there, the way that knob works, I mean, you'll see there's a I don't know, a pin or a screw going through here, and by turning the knob you basically clamp this side and that side together, which clamps down on the rail. So we'll just throw, in fact, the way we can do it real easy is to take this, let's just isolate it, let's go to polygon. Okay, I'm going to save my work because I'd hate to lose everything I just did. Actually, let's go to vertex. I'm going to click this vertex in the center, and then I'm going to control click this polygon button, and that should convert my selection. It does. So I'm just going to scale this down because that pin is, that screw is not very big. Get my move tool, and then no, that's not what I want to do. Undo that. I forget that you have to use the extrude and go down that way. Now it's probably too long. That's okay. We'll fix that in a minute. So if I go edge, double click this and just do a quick chamfer on it, just to hold that. I'm going to swift loop in a quick support edge there, maybe another one in here. Okay, I'm going to end my isolate. Oh, it actually wasn't long enough. Okay, go to vertex, select these, and I'm just going to, wow, it's hard to get in there. Okay, so in order to be able to see what the hell I'm doing, let's go here, select this, and isolate them both. Okay, now it actually looks like my pin. Now obviously I did not have that thing go through and you know, all nice and stuff. Don't need to. So it looks like my pin here is actually too thin, so let's go to polygon, select that, and just grow, and grow, and let's just get our scale tool and thicken it. maybe something like that. Okay, vertex. Wireframe is F3. And I'm just going to run this down to here. Again, doesn't really matter. So just swift loop here, maybe another one there. And let's go to polygon. And I want to take those bottom polygons, so I'm going to deselect everything. And I'm just going to delete those. And what that does is, one, it eliminates some polygons, and two, it forces a hard edge there, so this thing is not, you know, smoothing over weird. Okay. So now what we have to do now, the issue that I'm seeing here is that my, you know, thing is not really well lined up. I guess it doesn't matter. Let's see if that's gonna matter. I'm gonna run this through to here just so I can know where to put that knob on this thing. So let's come over here, make a new cylinder, and let's look at what this thing looks like here. It's just cylinder with an sort of extrusion inward, and then it comes back out in the center. And then it's got these cutouts here. So shouldn't be too difficult. Let's go to, I don't know, 32. Where was that? 32. Oh, numlock is off. So 32 should be good, I think. Or should we go 36? All right, 36 it is. It's going to increase my height a little bit. So I'm going to model it over here and then move it into position afterward. Okay. Let's go here. Let's add an edit poly on the top. Go to vertex, select that top one, control click on the polygon. And so let's scale this to there. Something of that nature. Maybe a little. There we go. Get your move tool, go. I see, I keep making that mistake. Extrude inward. Actually, let's use this. Extrude inward. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, then scale it in. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna keep doing this, aren't I? This is an inset. And something like that. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Then we're going to extrude it out again. Now, does it come out past? So it's about flush, at least from this angle is what it looks like. So let's move this down. I can even get my snaps on and just snap it there. And I'm just going to taper it a little bit. Okay, and then there's another hole in the center. So shift scale. Oh my goodness. See, Maya put in that functionality for extruding polygons. And so I've been used to doing that, and now I just keep doing it. Okay. There we go. And then extrude this inward somewhere. Okay. So let's go to edge mode. Double click this. Let's do a chamfer. We'll add a couple segments, maybe 3. Let's lower the size of my chamfer. Let's just punch in 3, maybe 2.5, something like that. This one needs to be a little crisper, so let's chamfer that. We want 2 segments at, say, 1 or even 0.1. Nah, let's do 0.5 or 0.3. Okay. Now we need to delete some stuff here. So I'm going to swift loop, and I'm going to get my move tool with my snapping turned on. Shortcut is S. Hit F3 for wireframe, and I want to snap this line to the same level as the inside floor of that. Okay, so and actually no, the bottom of this notch does not go as far as the floor. So what I can actually do is turn my snaps off, just raise this up, you know, about that much, and then I need to cut in one on the inside, and that one is going to be, I'll turn my snapping on, I'm going to line it up with this one on the outside. Okay, so that way if I delete, now how wide do we want that notch? Do we want it to be 2 of these? Yeah. And then we want the exact opposite side, so I'll just select 2 and let's delete those. And then edge. Now I could be doing this in half and then put symmetry on, but I'm already this far, so let's, where's my bridge? There it is. And bridge it again. Okay, something like that. Now let's, this is sort of soft in there and on the bottom, so we'll put some chamfers. Start with the bottom, double click, chamfer. Let's go to 1. I think I like that. Now we got to do up here, and we probably want a different chamfer level up here than we do in the cutouts. The cutouts I think look sharper than the fall off here. So yeah, let's go ahead and just, now let me think which is better to do first. If we do these ones first, and I'm just going to select all the way around, and then this side. Oops. Let's do that again. So double click and add this. And then chamfer that. Now I want to remember what I used 1 and 2 for the next chamfer. So I'm going to take this back down to 1, and I'm going to make it pretty small. Try 0.3. And again, if I increase my segments, I get weirdness that I don't want to deal with. So I'm going to leave it at 1 segment. And let's go down to 0.25. Make it nice and tight. And then select this, this, this. And then we're going to use the previous settings, which is 1 and 2 segments. Maybe bring it down to 8. There we go. Okay, so now what that's created, this polygon right here is an n-gon. So if we take our cut tool, it's going to cut across to here and cut across to here. Still an n-gon. So what I can do is basically run a connect. So select one of these, go to ring, connect, 2 segments, and then increase the pinch to that. Hit OK. Let's do the same on this side. Cut here, cut here. Cut from here to here. Select this, ring, connect. It's going to use the same settings. Then we can connect here to here, or we can just cut here to here. So this is all just a side effect of chamfering, especially when you chamfer with segments. You run into these issues. Okay, save. Support edges. I'm going to swift loop. Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to ring this and ring this, and let's do a connect again with 2, and we're just going to pinch these upward. Okay. And then we can just swift loop down here. And in the inside, we need to chamfer this. So we'll make this a pretty tight chamfer. 0.3 should be good. The inside of here as well, let's do that same chamfer. And then of course the inside here, do the same chamfer. Okay, so now again we have a bunch of triangles in here. Let's just reduce some of the poly count here. Okay, so this is a very simple, easy way to get rid of some polygons. Now you might say, you know, that's not really a lot of polygons. And it's not, but chances are you're going to have a lot of cylinders in your models, and you know, if you got a whole bunch of cylinders and you do this with them, it starts to add up. So each of these was 2 triangles, which meant 2 polygons. Now it's a single polygon, so the poly count has dropped. So technically, even though they cover, you know, this single polygon covers the exact same surface area as those 2, it's considered less and uses up less memory. So yeah. Okay, how does that smooth? I don't think I'll ever smooth it, but I always like to see how things smooth out. Isoline, and turn off my wireframe. Okay, so for me that's fine, good enough. I'm gonna delete that Turbosmooth. Let's go into element, select the whole thing, clear all smoothing groups, apply the first one, and that looks fine just as is. You know, you almost don't need to smooth it. Okay, so now we need to, let me see how this is aligned here. Okay, so this is centered, so we can actually align this to this and say okay, and then just move this down, flip it 180, and then move it back up, and then obviously shrink it down. And then move it up there like that. Now I don't know, let's see if it's, let's see how big we want this to be. Let's look at this. I mean, it's pretty big. Now ours does not cross over this line here. Not a big deal. If you want, you can make it bigger. If you really want to have a big knob there, maybe make it taller. I don't care, you know. Whatever looks good to you. For me, that's more than good enough. And then, like I said before, is because see how straight on it is, I'm going to just take it and I'm going to turn off my angle snap with A and just, you know, give it a random rotation so it's not so straight. There we go. All right, so I'm going to save my file here. Going to hit M for my material editor, and I'm going to put this gunmetal material on it just so it's not so purple, and this one as well. And then I like this, actually these screws as well can be the same color, and this is just for preview purposes. Obviously, you know, there'll be textures and whatnot. And then this part here, I could make it the same gunmetal, but I think I'll make it this color here, the flat dark earth sort of tan color. Seems to be a very popular color in the gun community. So assign material to selection. And this is what we have here. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so our light is now connected to the rail. And it looks fine enough that I don't think the average person looking at this is going to see that it's kind of not what it's supposed to look like. We copied the detail up here. So if you look at this, you know, we sort of got that. The other side, we're not too worried about it. Maybe this is a bit, so let's isolate this. Let's take this and our isolation, get our move tool and just slide it back. So maybe something like that. Yeah, okay. I think that'll work a little bit better. And I'm going to just select these. Oops. And just move them up so they contact that a little bit better over there. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That actually looks not too bad down there now. All right, so I'm happy with that. You know, it's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it doesn't have to be, and I'm cool with it. Okay, and we can see our little thing going through there. And basically what this is supposed to do, at least I think, this pin slides in between two rail sections, so the light can't move back and forth. So I'm going to call that good. Okay, so that part is done. Save our work. And then I'm also going to save as, and I'm going to increment my save to file 71. All right. Continuing on. What are we at here? An hour? Yeah, you know what? Let's call this one here, and then we'll continue with making the inside of the flashlight in the next video. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's grow the channel, and like the videos, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.